everybody. Welcome to Brotherly Love FC. I'm Chris O'Connell. The show all about Philly soccer. We got a big show today. Union heading into the MLS Club playoffs. We have a couple Union podcasters in the studio today. And yes, we're talking FIFA World Cup. Philadelphia is about to be center stage in 2026. But before we go global, Tom, let's start local.
Absolutely. First off, welcome back. Last week you were in L.A.
Yeah.
That run didn't last as long as we hoped.
No, I thought I'd be on the road a little bit longer.
Good to have you back. And yes, we were getting tons of highlights from the youth, and we love it. We're going to try to get them all in. We're here every week. Check out this one from the 2014 boys Philly surf team. Watch this shot from outside the 18, right foot, top corner, Ooh. Banger. That was a great highlight. So we started off strong today. Don't forget to keep sending us your highlights on Instagram at brotherly_love FC. That deserves one more look from way downtown. Goalie had no shot.
First of all, I love how they're doing these highlights now. They have these electronic cameras that they mount there, I guess for Huddle or something.
Huddle, VO, there's a bunch of them, and they track the ball. And then the next day, parents get an email with clips of all their kids' highlights. It's great.
That is amazing.
Yep.
All right, from the next generation to the biggest stage of all, the countdown is officially on for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. This is really coming into focus now.
It's go time. I mean, one of the main reasons we started this show, obviously, is for the World Cup, and things are starting to happen that we want to keep track of.
Yeah. FIFA Volunteer Center opened just down the street from us yesterday at the Fashion District. This will serve as the hub for more than 3,000 Philadelphia-based World Cup volunteers. There's also a FIFA museum located in the center. So this is kind of going to be, or really is right now, the epicenter for that. If you want to get involved, go to the volunteer center located in the Fashion District. Fans will be able to check it out.
Yeah, and even if you can't be a volunteer, because I believe as of this week they're pretty much shutting that down because there's so many people. Like you said, there's the museum there, which the museum's going to be awesome, and they're going to have a lot of memorabilia and really keep you up to date on everything going on.
And we've been planning for this for years, but now we're only 238 days away from the first match of the World Cup. And FIFA announced, I think today, that over 1 million tickets have been sold around the world already. I think the top 3 countries were the host countries.
Absolutely. They're the ones selling, but a lot of the countries from around, there's people coming from everywhere.
Yeah, I think more than 200 countries.
And that was technically the pre-sale.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right, let's break down some of the key dates you want to keep in mind.
So, all right, so the big first key date you want to look at is December 5th. Coming up, it's the World Cup draw. That's when we'll find out who's playing here in Philly and where everybody's going. Fox is going to be on TV from 11:30 to 3 that day, following the draw as it happens. As we said, the first game itself is 238 days away, June 11th. That'll be happening in Mexico. The first game here in Philly is 3 days later, June 14th. And the World Cup final at the New York, New Jersey Stadium will be July 19th.
All right, now let's get specifically the dates here in Philly, because that's the ones you really want to circle on your calendar. As we said, first game in Philly, June 14th. We'll also have a group stage games on June 19th, June 22nd, June 25th, and June 27th. We'll also have, I think this is really kind of going to be the highlight, right?
Yes.
This one on July 4th. We'll also have a round of 16 knockout round match on July 4th. Big question, we don't know who are going to be playing here yet. We don't even know who's going to be in the whole tournament yet.
No, we don't know. And that December 5th day, we'll know, and we'll know what the options are, the possibilities. Is there any chance if the U.S. advances, they come here on July 4th? Obviously, that would be the dream scenario for a lot of people. What other superstars from around the world are going to be coming here? We'll know that all December 5th.
48 teams competing in this World Cup. That's up from 32. That's up 32 from 2022. World Cup had 32 teams since 1998, but added 16 started with this World Cup. 28 teams already qualified, so 20 slots still available. This thing's still up for grabs.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to break down who's qualified so far if you're not up to date. Automatic qualifiers are the host countries. So with 3 countries hosting, that's 3 automatic qualifiers. One of the reasons why they increased the numbers. U.S., Canada, Mexico. This is the U.S. 12th World Cup, and it is their second hosting, with 1994 being the first.
So the pressure's off a little bit, the U.S. They're not trying to make it in. They're going to be in.
Yeah, I mean, unless the last one, they weren't in, right? So, I mean, that hurdle was already done for them by getting the World Cup here.
All right, let's go to the other one. 6 teams from the Asian Football Confederation have already qualified. They include Australia, Iran, and Japan.
Yeah, and this is Japan's 8th consecutive World Cup, so they're looking to and they're always tough.
And Philly or U.S. had just played them, right?
Yes, they've played them. They've played them on friendly recently.
All right, we also got Jordan, Korea Republic, and Uzbekistan.
Yep, and this is Jordan and Uzbekistan's first ever World Cup, and Uzbekistan is the first team ever from Central Asia to qualify for the World Cup, so making a little history there.
And that we always see these kinds of stories in the World Cup, these kinds of, some of the underdogs that might, Cinderellas that might make it through. Or
and this is why one of the reasons they increased from 32 to 48 to give more countries a chance to be part of the biggest event in the world and to add some more diversity to it.
All right, the Confederation of African Football has 9 qualifiers so far. They are Algeria, Cabo Verde, Ivory Coast, Egypt, and Ghana.
Yeah, let's talk about Cabo Verde for a little bit. They just qualified this week. They are the 2nd smallest in terms of population country ever to compete. They have 580,000 people in the country. Smallest was Iceland back in 2018. But you figure 580,000 people. That's like if Delco put together a soccer team. It's about the same amount of people and qualified for the World Cup. So obviously that's gigantic and another advantage to them adding extra teams. But that's a first with only 500,000 people in the country.
Where can you find their jersey, number one? And can you find it on a map?
We're going to play that game on this show at some point. We're going to say name the flag, and we may struggle.
We also got in that the Africans, the Morocco, Senegal, South Africa, and Tunisia.
And South Africa returns to the tournament for the first time in 16 years. They've missed the last few World Cups, so it was big for them to get back in.
And 6 teams from the South American Football Confederation already in. No surprise here. Argentina, Brazil, and Colombia.
Argentina is obviously the defending champs. Now, the big question is, will Messi play? He is not committed yet. During the 22, when he finally got over the hump and won, he told people that was probably his last one. But now he's still playing. He's still playing at a high level, but nothing's official yet. So that's something to keep an eye on. Will he play?
We'll probably know soon enough, right?
Yeah, they're going to have to. You're going to know soon.
And we also, to round out that one, Ecuador, Paraguay, and Uruguay. Again, no surprise.
No surprise. Paraguay's first time in since 2010.
And the Oceania Football Confederation has 1 qualifier so far at New Zealand.
Yep, and this is their 3rd World Cup. They were in 82 and 2010, so they're back in.
And finally, the European Football Association qualified 1 so far. Another no surprise, England there.
This is their 8th straight, but assuming they get a group stage game here in the U.S., it'll be the first time here because in '94 they did not qualify and did not play here in the World Cup.
All right, so those are what we have so far. We still have almost half the field to be.
Yeah, we still have 20 teams to add, which will be happening. There's different qualifying tournaments and their wild cards. So over the next few weeks, even from this week, as of Tuesday, there was 22, and by today there was 28. So they're adding teams almost on a daily basis.
All right, well, we have some of the teams. How about the ball they're going to be playing with? The tournament has a symbol that stands out every tournament. This year, the official FIFA World Cup ball. We got a Fox Sports feature that dives into what makes this ball so special, the design, the technology, and the meaning.
The official match ball reveal is just the next milestone leading to the 2026 World Cup. The design includes symbols representing each country, a maple leaf for Canada, an eagle for Mexico, and a star for the U.S. But the real innovation to this match ball reveal, well, it's the technology that's hidden inside. In each official match ball, there's a sensor chip. So anytime the ball is kicked, tapped, thrown, or headed, the sensors will send data to the referees, and it's happening all in real time. And the technology is not the only aspect making this tournament the biggest yet.
This is the largest version of the World Cup, so it starts with the expanded field. So for the first time ever, 48 teams will compete. Until now, it's been 32. The technology has really transformed the game. It changes not only the game, but it changes the fan experience.
So what if it's raining or really humid? Well, although it's only visible in person, this ball is designed to have a nice texture so that way players can get a good grip while they're on the pitch in any kind of weather. In Kansas City, Missouri, Chelsea Torres, Fox News.
And we got one of the balls right here sent to us. You probably can't see it, but you do see that texture on here. A lot real colorful.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Chelsea pointed out, each of the 3 host countries are represented, and the technology inside the ball, which will make the VARs and everything else crazy. So it's a lot goes into it. You don't think about it when you're watching them kicking around.
Wonder how many of those made. Did she say?
She did not say, so we'll see.
All right. We have much more to talk about on the show. Up next, the Union getting ready for their final regular season game of the season and hopefully a long playoff run. We'll be joined by a husband and wife team who have a podcast all about the Union. That is when Brotherly Love FC returns. Welcome back to Brotherly Love FC. We are turning our attention to the Philadelphia Union. But first, we have another highlight to share, Tom.
Absolutely. And so far, we've done a lot of offense in the first few weeks of the show. But let's give a shout out to the guys playing defense. And that's the Union. So they're really good at this. But we'll get back to Dom in a second. But yeah, we want to here he is right here. Dom from Pennsylvania East ODP. Watch the defensive play right there, the hustle. So we got to give a shout out to our defenders. We need some goalie highlights to come in.
They don't make the highlight.
Yeah, they don't make the highlight. That's a hell of an effort right there.
That's a nice tackle
and then,
there.
I'm a goalie dad, so let's get those goalie highlights in as well.
All right, the Union. First of all, I got to give a shout out to the Union. Thank you for hosting me. Saw the Supporter Shield win. That was awesome. Thank you, Union. Good luck. Union have their final regular season match of the year this Saturday down in Charlotte. The Union don't have much to play for this weekend since they already clinched the best record in the league. They have to stay sharp for the playoffs. We talked to Union head coach Bradley Carnell about how this team is handling the downtime and staying sharp.
Situation, but I'd rather be in this situation than fighting on decision day to see where our fate lies. So, the guys have been amazing all season long, and they've rewarded themselves a week before decision day, and that's great. We gave them a couple of days to rest and sort of recharge, and now we get back at it, and we're heading to Charlotte with a lot of confidence.
So they got the Supporter Shield. How far can the Union now go in the playoffs? Our next guests talk about the Union on their podcast, the One Team We Agree On podcast. Please welcome Kyle and Jillian Almoney, right?
Yep.
Thank you. You guys coming in from Lancaster. First of all, I love your podcast. You respectfully disagree on some things. Tell me, that's kind of the basis of your podcast, right?
Right. That's how we got started, because I was always a fan of all the Philly teams, 5 for 5. And Kyle, on the other hand, there's only one team that he likes out of Philly.
And you're originally from York.
Yes.
So who are your teams?
Well, for football, Miami Dolphins. Baseball, and that was because of Dan Marino. Baseball, the San Francisco Giants because of JT Snow. Calgary Flames because of Lanny McDonald and Christian Laettner, and that's why I'm a Timberwolves fan.
You're very. I'm confused, and I really feel sorry for you. But so how did you guys agree on the Union? I mean, wasn't there some random player in like Minnesota you like from soccer wise or anything?
No, it was literally I grew up playing soccer before swimming took over, and just lo and behold, I had gone to some MLS games way back in the beginning, 2000. When '96 when the league started, going to DC United. 2010 kind of went to some early games, and then at one of my jobs there was a raffle for some Union tickets. She'd never gone, and we won the raffle, and the rest is history. And then we got into covering the team, and hey, here we are today.
Yep.
Jillian, tell me about your first Union game experience, because my wife had that a couple weeks ago. What was your first experience like, and how did you get into really following this team?
Yeah, so I kind of casually followed before that. I had coached one of their former players in swimming, Andrew Wenger, back in the day. So I kind of loosely followed the team a bit. But then, 2019, we went to our first game, and it was against Atlanta United. Union won. It was a big win. Brendan Aronson scored. It was really exciting and had a great time. And while I had only played soccer a little bit as a kid, had a little bit of background. My dad was semi-pro back in the day, but just had a great time. And I was like, okay, this is something that we want to keep doing, and it's evolved so much since then.
Now you guys have gone from being fans and enjoying it to really covering the team to the point where you came straight here from talking to the team. What's the biggest difference you have seen, not necessarily just with this specific team, but just when you get inside, what you did not expect to find?
I would say, for me personally, going into this role is just from the organization top to down, how in line they are with their vision, beliefs, how they operate. It's all in line from the first team down to the academy. And I think that's something just somebody from the outside doesn't realize how organized this organization is.
Jillian, you kind of split your duties. You cover the union, you cover Union 2 and the developmental end. Talk about, for the casual fan, what that farm system means to the union and what it looks like.
Yeah, their developmental program is tremendous. They have such a good alignment from the pros on down to the academy level, and I think that's just been a huge success for them. We've taken in some of the academy games. We've watched these players coming up, and then Union 2, they have some of their players are amateur academy players, and then you have some of their signed pro, some that go up into the first team. They've made their debuts. You've seen some of these players have a tremendous season. So for us, it's been just really neat to see the development of these players, to see the emergence of guys like Frankie Westfield and Owetu Makanya, and you're seeing Kevin Sullivan, some of these guys coming up through, but they just have such a good common philosophy throughout their leadership is tremendous. So, and it's no surprise that Union have 4 in the U17 World Cup that was just announced today. So it just really speaks volumes to how successful their program's been.
And don't forget about Neil Pierre.
Neil Pierre, Defender of the Year, was announced today too. Yep. For MLS Next Pro.
Yeah.
So
talk about what that facility has mean, because I remember back before when their academy was based on YSC, and because a lot of our kids play there, but now to have everything down there in Chester with the dome and everything else, what impact has that had?
I mean, I was actually talking a little bit with Ryan Richter today about that. It's a world-class facility. I mean, you now have the indoor all-weather fields. You have everything's now in one place. The academy, in the past, the academy was at YSC. Now you have the academy there, you have housing there, and now you have your own offices for both the academy and the second team, along with the first team. So there's just
for those of you who don't know, I want to fill. They built a brand new facility down there, training, indoor,
and the school is down there as well. So their academy kids go to school there,
and it's beautiful. What is it called? What do they call it? I know it's sponsored.
It's the
YSC.
Why? Okay,
yeah.
right.
Yeah. The other interesting thing is you have the indoor training facility. You have the weight room there now, which is beautiful. I saw that today. And then you have like all the offices, and there's like eating establishments. So everything now is under one roof, and it's world class. I mean, there might be other teams, professional sports out there that don't have as good as training facilities as the Union do now.
All right, we're going to get into what's going to go on in the playoffs, their push for the MLS Cup, and just don't go anywhere, all right? All right, we're talking Philadelphia Union. Don't go away. We have more to talk about. We'll be right back. Brotherly Love FC, back after the break. Welcome back to Brotherly Love FC, the show about all Philly footy. We are joined by Jill and Kyle Almoney from the One Team We Agree On Union podcast. Thanks again for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Let's get into the MLS playoffs. First of all, let's get back to the Supporter Shield win. How big was that for this franchise?
I mean, to win 2 Supporter Shields in a 5-year span is massive. I mean, a lot of people on the outside, they say, oh, there's playoffs. Well, in most other leagues across the world, your Supporters Shield is your league trophy. There is no playoffs. So I think to put that in context for somebody on the outside looking in, it's like the President's Cup for hockey. That's what the Supporters Shield is. Yeah, you don't get a star on your crest, but it's huge. It's huge to have that kind of just where they were almost a year ago, missing the playoffs, to now rebounding and winning. It's massive.
So he's talking about the rebound, and we've talked about this with with Alejandro Bedoya and Sebastian Letou. What made the difference this year? What did you guys see as the difference? Because obviously coming in this year, a lot of people on the outside were like didn't know what to expect. There wasn't really high expectations. So what clicked, and what do you think made the difference?
Yeah, I think that Jim Curtin did a fantastic job building this team into what it has become, and Bradley Carnell brought in his special brand of, just how good he is with the players, his tactics and everything. And also a big thing this season, I think, has been these younger guys getting a chance and not being afraid to let some of these guys sink or swim, get that opportunity and really prove themselves, like some of the players we've already mentioned. You see guys like Frankie Westfield take off. You see guys making their debuts, Eddie Davis, Neil Pierre, and so on. So that's huge for these guys, and I think just Bradley has brought in just that extra, just the locker room has been fantastic. The talent is there. They've gotten the pieces they need. It's just all kind of come together in a perfect storm, I think, that's led them to this moment.
Kyle, you literally just came from Chester. You came from the Union facilities. What were you hearing today? I know they're trying to get a rest, but what's kind of the mindset?
The mindset going into Saturday is, they want to keep the momentum going for the playoffs. Carnell talked about that. Obviously, health too. Going down to Charlotte, you're playing on a turf field. We know how that can be. But it sounds like they're going to be healthy, and it's just building off of what they've done all year. Just keep building that momentum so that they can hit the playoffs running, and that's kind of been the message. Frankie said that when we were talking to him, and so did Carnell. So
you talk about the health thing. Obviously, they lost Quinn Sullivan, and if you don't watch a lot, he's obviously one of the most important players in the team this year. So if you're a casual fan, you're going to watch them in the playoffs. Who should they look at to say, hey, that guy's going to step up and fill that void? Because that's a big void to fill suddenly.
A big one is Milan Olaski. What a signing he's been since they brought him in. He's just taken them over the top, I think, and gelled with the team very, very well.
Yeah, Olaski's definitely one. They brought him over from San Diego. Wasn't able to make a deal with him. He went back to Europe, and then Union just brought him back in, so we re-signed him. I would say also Indiana Vasilov. He joins Carnell from St. Louis City. We brought him over. And I would say coming off the bench, I would say the two biggest players are their defensive midfielders. Danley Jean-Jacques and Jovan Lukic are the two best, in my opinion, defensive midfielders in the league, pairing-wise.
Going into the playoffs, assuming we're healthy after this weekend, what are the storylines going into the playoffs? I know we keep talking about this team maybe shouldn't have been there, wasn't expected to be there, but they are. They're the team to beat now. What are the storylines going into the MLS Cup playoffs?
Well, I think, Philly loves an underdog, and even though they're at the top, everyone's like, oh, Inter Miami, this Messi, there's all that talent there. The East is really stacked, though. It's going to be just a bloodbath, I think, with the Eastern Conference, and it could be anybody on top. I think in the West, it's a little bit more, you've got LAFC, Vancouver kind of at the top, but the East is going to be interesting, and really it's whoever is, I think, at the top of their game here during the playoffs.
I mean, you said Philly loves an underdog, and they also love a blue-collar team. This team will grind out a 1-0 victory like it's nobody's business, and they take pride in it. And I think that's something that needs to be said. This team is, for 90 minutes, will run at you, will play good defense, and it all starts with the forwards playing good defending, and then the press coming back. And then Bradley said all year, 60, 30, 10, 60 from the counter, 30 from set pieces, and 10% of their goals will come from open play. That's what this team is. And it's sometimes can be a little on your edge of the seat, but it's exciting, as you saw when they won the Shield. So I think that's what the storyline's going to be. This team's going to grind out, and if they do, they're going to grind their way to the cup.
And that is a typical, that is a typical Phillies team.
Yes.
A Philly team.
Yeah.
Grind it out, lunch pail guys, come to work, discipline, show up for your fans, and the rest will kind of take care of itself. The fans will kind of take care of itself. That's what this team is, right?
This is what this
100%.
team is, yes.
So looking at it, and you mentioned Inter Miami, if I'm a fan and I'm looking back, because they have another week after this where there's the 8-9 game and everything else, is there a team that you don't want to see if you're the Union? Is there a team they just don't match up with that you've seen that gives them more problems?
Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville. Union's lost 3 times to them this year. And to be fair, Nashville won the U.S. Open Cup. They're against storyline. Philadelphia, B.J. Callahan, started at, I believe, Ursinus, and then was with Curtin, started his career at the Union, and then went to U.S. and national team, and then came to Nashville. It's been a phenomenal year. Another team that can be tricky if the Union draw them is Chicago. Greg Berhalter's team, is one of the best teams in the league on the road, and the Union in that first round will play. It's the best out of 3, so there again.
Yep.
All right. Well, that is all the time we have. First of all, how do we find your podcast? The One Team We Can Agree On podcast. Jillian and Kyle, where can we find it?
We're at the oneteamweagreeon.com. You can find us on all the socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're there, and we have our YouTube channel as well. So we air our podcast wherever you find your podcast as well.
And we also have articles, both pre, post match, and weekly interviews as well on our website.
Yeah, for both the Union and Union 2. So we cover a lot of both of those.
There's a lot of stories out there.
And that's what we try to cover.
All right. Thanks. We want to have you back.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.